Hello everyone and welcome to the first round of Division 2 of FRL, and we're going to get qualifying underway shortly. I am going to be half commentating, but I'm also going to keep an eye on this race as the league administrator. So I am going to configure the race settings now. We're going to have a 10 minutes qualifying session followed by a 23 lap race. Going to announce that qualifying is starting. I hope the stream is all good. That you can hear me, that you can hear the in-game sounds as well. I was originally going to be in the voice chat for this race, but looks like no one is going to be in the voice chat, so I don't have to be in the voice chat, so I'm free to commentate, and I don't have to worry about muting the game sounds or anything due to me being in the voice chat. Okay, so good luck to all the participants. We're going to get going now. And let's watch the drivers as they come out and track one by one. Meanwhile, I will keep an eye out on the YouTube chat as well, stream chat. Also, I'm going to do, I need to chat something because there's still the stalling bug in the game, where some people aren't immediately able to move when lights go out or when they try to go out for qualifying. That's going to, that's unfortunately, I haven't been able to fix it. It's a really tricky bug to deal with, but because of the bug, for the race we are going to ignore the in-game start lights, and I am going to do the countdown myself. So when lights go out, we're going to check if everyone's able to move at first, and then if we are all clear, then we will do the actual race starts. Let me, I posted it on Discord, let me announce it in-game as well, in case some people have missed that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to meanwhile check who's here, who isn't here. So we've got Chirpy Bird, Tash here. So both the Epic Sniper Racing guys are in here. Let's see, we've got both the pink cars in here as well. Just running through the entry list to make sure everyone's here. We've got one. I see one missing. We've got those are in as well. That's good. We are missing one other driver. I believe we also had a reserve driver sign up. We are missing a few drivers here and there. Say, okay, so I'm going to mark those for myself to see who actually are on right now. And we have one reserve driver. Let me check that reserve driver is not here. So we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers. Decent tendency for the first round, I would say. what happens if someone jump starts? We're of course going to crack down on that. We're going to ask the driver to please return to the grid, and otherwise we'll sanction that driver. I'll make sure to yell at the start, ignore lights, ignore lights. I'll make sure to do that when the race starts. Meanwhile, let's also try to be the cameraman for this race. I haven't been doing that job because I'm a little bit focused on going through the entry list and everything. Okay, we've got one more driver here, good. Okay, we're missing 4 drivers still, so we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that have both drivers here right now. And if you are new to this league, if you're not aware of the rules of this league, so we are running equal cars, and every team was able to pick their own car before this round, and they'll use the same car throughout the season. So there's 2 cars per team. What's maybe a little bit tricky is that we've got 4 blue cars in the leaderboard, which is going to be slightly tricky to look at, to distinguish between the Epic Snipers racing guys who are driving the RCM1 car, and between the Blue Spirit team who are running the Fritcher F64. Okay, let's look at the standings so far. We've got Portalmaker on provisional pole right now with over a second lead to second place Skyrinks. We've got JL pretty short after, P2 through to P6 pretty tight right now. Tash Mash has moved up the other 2 second place, solid evidence from him being in between Portalmaker and Skyrinks. Okay, meanwhile, let's look on board with Tash Mash, who surely is on the lap right now in the RCM1. He's a bit laggy right now. Well, RX Gamer, can you be asked if he wants to be a co-commentator? We're not going to do that now. Maybe next time. Maybe you can be a regular commentator for Division 2. We'll see. I don't really want to do last minute changes, except a last minute commentator, anything like that. And yes, if your teammate doesn't show up, that's unfortunate, then you'll have to race on your own. Also, it remains to be seen how I am going to sort that out, but I am planning on eventually kicking drivers out of the league or out of the division if they don't turn up, and basically they don't turn up without saying, hey, can't come, or trying to get a reserve driver to drive for them, because we actually have got quite a few reserve drivers, and if those reserve drivers want to drive, they have to be basically recruited by an existing team in this league. So for example, Portalmaker has 1 teammate missing, so what he could have done, and if his teammate would have announced, like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't race, then Portalmaker, for example, could have asked a reserve driver to drive in his teammate's place, and then his team would still have 2 cars in the grid, for example. Okay, we've got just under 2 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. It is Skyrinks on pole position, just under a tenth. We've got Tash to Mash in second place, who's going right through the right-hander. We've got Portalmaker in third place, Arnocher in fourth. It's actually relatively close, I must say, at the top. Tash to Mash and Skyrinks, I believe they are teammates. No, they're driving different teams. Those blue... The blue team color is going to be really hard. I believe it's actually... Is it the exact same color? I'm not sure. They are... I mean, the Spirit blue car is slightly darker than the RCM blue car. But yeah, it's really hard to distinguish those two on the leaderboard, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. That's going to be a little challenge for me to distinguish, or I just need to remember who's teammates who. I mean, I should know that as the league admin. I'm going to pick one commentator. I'm going to sidecall commentators if there are multiple people who are interested in commentating. Preferably, if you want to commentate, then maybe if you have a good PC, if you can stream something like this, then maybe a commentator, if he's interested and if he's up for it, then he can stream the event as well. So I can honestly focus a bit more on coordinating this race. I'm sorry if I'm doing a really bad job with the camera, because I'm kind of half looking at the stream itself and half looking on Discord. I'm looking at the spreadsheet, I'm looking at the YouTube chat. So yeah, we've got Tash the Match, Creeper gone pole position. And he's now finished. We've got Skyrings. Is he going to improve? No, it isn't. So it's Creeper on provisional pole. It's a Blue Spirit 1-2 right now, as I'm checking the spreadsheet to make sure I got that one right. We've got Tash the Match in third, and he's going to remain third. We are now looking at Chirpy Bird, who's the only one to finish his lap. So we've got Poltermaker in fourth, Arnoja fifth, Laf G in sixth. We've got Chirpy Bird in seventh for now, but is he going to improve? Let's look on board with him now as he is approaching the final corner of this Flevo International Circuit. And he is about to cross the line. Let's see in what position he's going to get. And he remains in P7. So that's our grid sorted for our first ever official qualifying session in the league. And we are going to get straight into things. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I am going to remind the drivers not to go. I hope everyone is going to see this. No one go. Please don't. No one make go for. So I'm going to ask everyone if they're able to move because of the stalling bug. One can't. Still not able to move? Oh, yeah, we go. So we've got everyone sorted. There we go. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to count them manually. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lights out, and away we go for the first round of FRL. And it's Creeper Brazil out in lead. No, Arnoja with a really good start. No one jump started, I'm pretty sure. So we're all good to go for this race. Everyone has gone off the line clearly. So now we are just going to get going as Creeper Brazil is steaming off in the lead right now, having a small buffer to his teammate who is fighting with a couple of other guys, with Arnoja and Poltermaker for second place. Kappa, I'm not going to add you right now. I want to focus on the race right now. I hope you understand. Okay, so we've got Creeper Brazil right now in the lead. Ooh, we've got a battle going on with Poltermike has caught up and is now taking the lead. It looks like Creeper may have gotten a small penalty. We've got Arnold, we've got a scrap for third place. It's all pretty tight. Top 7 being separated by 2.2 seconds, so it's all pretty tight at the moment. As there's one car going right, that's Left G dropping down the order to back to P5. I think I want to keep the HUDs like this so the viewers can see the name and easily see which driver is who. So we've got scrap for the lead going on right now with Creeper just in front from Portalmaker. We've got Arno, no, Portalmaker's in the lead now, and Arno and Portalmaker now scrapping for the lead. So Arno was, I believe, quite far back in qualifying, but now he seems to have the pace to fight for the win. We've got no tyre wear for this race, by the way. I don't think I have mentioned that so far, but we are not running tyre wear for this round. Also for the first division tomorrow, we're not going to run tyre wear because it probably has been fixed, but if you know, just like the stalling bug, you can't be certain with that, so I'm going to have to wait and see. Well, I'm probably going to be hosting an event somewhere in midweek in a few days to have a test race with tyre wear and see if that goes if that goes right, and if that goes right, then we are going to run tyre wear for round 2 and for the remainder of the season. Okay, so there's a 3-way scrap going on for the second place. We've got Creeper Brazil, who started on pole position. We've got Arnoche, and we've got Laf G, who has made up quite some time, because last time I checked something on him, he briefly ran off track, but he seems to have more than made up for it, and now he is in the fight. Oh, Portamate got a penalty. He's dropping down now, so that's Creeper Brazil now in the lead. Let's have a look at where all the other drivers are standing at the moment. So we've got Lafty and Portalmaker scraping out for second place. I'm pretty sure Portal wants to make up for that mistake. We've got JL in 4th place. We've got Arnold a little bit further back in 5th place. Skyring's behind in 6th place. Dropped a few positions from where he started. I believe he started 2nd, but now he is down in 6th place. We've got Messi, CR down in 7th, Tash the Mash is in 8th, Chirpy Bird in 9th place, and we've got ROBLOX quite far back in 10th place. I think it's now a pretty good time to touch on the point system of this league. So you can score points in every position as long as you have started to race from 1st place to P13. So if you miss a race, you're going to probably miss out on 3 points, and that way every position will be worth fighting for. So especially now we've got 10 drivers, so every position obviously will be worth fighting for. As 10th place, let me check again, 10th place is worth 6 points, and every place upwards from there until we get to 3rd place is going to be 2 extra points. And also we give out points for pole position and for 2nd place in qualifying. So if you manage to get pole position, you get 2 points, and if you qualify in 2nd place, you get 1 extra point. So that means that Creeper Brazil has already gotten 2 points in the bank, and Skyrings 1 point for his 2nd place in qualifying. See, Portal could have raced in Division 1, yes. We had to have a neutral, 100% neutral way and fairest way of determining who drives in which division. And for now, your skill rating is the most straightforward way to determine who drives in which division. So if you are good but you have barely played the game, then unfortunately you may be in a different division. It's not like anyone's dominating right now. It's a pretty close pack at the front still. 4 laps into this race. So it's not like one guy's absolutely smashing the field right now, which is good to see. And also interesting to point out about the 2 divisions is that if you do well in the championship, then, or if you're SR, after you've been allocated to Division 2, if you have been on the grind after that, or if you have had a top 5 finish in the 2nd division, then you are allowed to be a reserve driver in the 1st league, or even move up to the 1st league if one driver there completely drops out, if one driver gets either kicked or is not able to participate anymore for whatever reason. So that way we will do our best to always have as many drivers on the grid as possible at every round. If you are inactive for a while, then say goodbye to your seat and someone else will take your place. And also after a season of FRL, this has already been defined, the top 3 championship finishers of a division must move up to Division 1. They can't stay in Division 2, they must, if they want to continue their campaign in this league, they must move up to Division 1. And I believe, let me double check the rules, there are also guaranteed demotions. Okay, we don't have strict demotions like we have promotions, but we do have a guarantee for certain drivers if they finished in the top 6 of the championship or are in the team that finished well in the season. Then they are guaranteed to stay, then they can't be demoted. If they wish to continue their campaign, they can't be demoted. And the rest of the pack will be determined by obviously the guys who promote who guarantee get a seat, and the rest will determined by either SR or maybe, if that becomes an option, to have a time trial session to determine who gets to drive in which division. The reason why time trial isn't a thing right now, we didn't use any form of time session or an event to determine who gets to drive in which division is, because qualifying, it's a little bit RNG with the slipstream, because if you manage to get slipstream for most of the lap, you set a better lap time, and if we want a fair way to determine who gets to drive in which division, we don't want that slipstream to be a factor. So everyone who sets a lap time has equal chance to get a good lap time in, or to set a good enough lap time to be allocated to a specific league. But right now we are sticking to skill rating for the most part. Paul make a goal penalty. He is now down in 3rd place again. And Creeper Brazil meanwhile has inherited the lead after Portal Maker's mistake. Right now, JL's lagging at the moment, but I'm pretty sure he's still in 2nd. Yeah, there we go. Back to earth. It's got Portal Maker in 3rd place right now. It's actually pretty tight. We've got a 4-way scrap for 2nd place still. All of those 4 drivers are really pretty much in the mix. I'm kind of surprised to see how tight the pack is still overall. I mean, the top 5 only 3.5 seconds behind the leader. So yeah, and P2 through to P5, pretty close. And also a little bit further down the order, we've still got relatively close racing further back as well. So it's all pretty close still. Oh, Creeper Brazil, did he just get a penalty? He's certainly lost a lot of time now, as Poltermaker, who took that corner pretty tight, may have gotten a warning for that from the game. So right now Poltermaker is in second place. I believe not driving the car he is supposed to be driving, but we're not going to worry too much about that at the minute. Oh, excuse me, he's driving the right car. He's driving the car he's supposed to drive, never mind. That his team just chose, he chose to drive that car for the season, the white RCM1 car. At least it will make him stick out in the pack. It's only the blue cars, the darker blue cars, at least on the leaderboard, that are hard to distinguish. So meanwhile we're looking at a scrap for the lead between Poltermaker, who is taking a tight line through the first corner of the snail section, who's getting a good run out of it, but still Creeper Brazil for now is maintaining the lead. As Poltermaker is closing in with the slipstream on the back straight. It seems like Creeper Brazil's got something going. He's now pulling away quite quickly actually from Poltermaker in P2. And Poltermaker also has a small gap to Tash in third place. Not sure what happened there. And now Arnoja is getting in the mix as well. Setting to overtake, yes, and he has overtake JL for fourth place. As they are now going side by side on the pit straight. Going pretty much even right now. If they're going even on this screen, that means they are not getting slipstream from each other at the moment. Now JL may be getting slipstream from Arnoja. Arnoja going wide, which is going to allow JL through for fourth place again. As we are now going to watch and ball with Poltermaker as he is chasing down our race leader, Creeper Brazil. Yes, by the way, also maybe yes, Tash the Mash, who was in 6th place earlier this race, has made a good recovery back to 3rd place. I believe he qualified in P3. Let me check that. Yes, he started in P3, dropped down the order to 6th or 7th place, I believe, and now he is back up into 3rd place. So pretty impressive for him. So going wide there, that's less impressive, but I hope he can maintain the 3rd place for now. As we are now looking back on board with Poltermaker, who is unfortunately Tash got a penalty for going wide, so that has cost him 2 places unfortunately. I spoke a little bit too soon right there, I'm sorry Tash. So now we have Poltermaker chasing down Creeper for the lead of this race. As we are now 1/3 through in this race. Poltermaker really in the slipstream, look at that closing speed. And now he may be able to take the lead. Oh, he's freezing a little bit now, we're back to earth. Running wide, so ooh, that's a penalty. He got a slow down penalty for going wide there. That's unfortunately has undone the hard work he has put in the last few laps to close that gap to Creeper. So now he's got some ground to make up again. Meanwhile, Tash is back up into 3rd place. A further 2.5 seconds back from Poltermaker. Now we've got Arnoja a bit further back in 4th place in the Cross Autosport car. And we've got in the pink FRC, we've got JL Skyring's quite far back, 5 seconds back. Not sure what happened to him. He started in second place, remember, and now he is pretty much in no man's land right now in P6. So I'm not sure what has happened to him throughout this race. And we've got a battle going on for P7. Let's have a look at this for a moment. We've got a battle for P7 between Messi CR and Laf G. As they are pretty much going even right now. Now Messi slightly ahead, coming into the left-hander. Laf G, ooh, going wide. He went in too deep into that corner, having to rejoin the track. Messi going a bit wide there, now going even again. Laf G now back past Messi for 7th place. They're going back and forth between 7th and 8th place right now. Messi with a much better line. Ooh, never mind. He cut the corner slightly, so that's a little slowdown for them. Unfortunately for Messi, he's still in the slipstream. Well on the slipstream of Laf G, so he should be able to make most of that deficit up in the slipstream. As Laf G is trying to break the toe, but Messi, of course, is going to keep that slipstream. He's going to be like, no, mate, I prefer the slipstream. Please give me that slipstream. And now there's a small gap between the two drivers, but Messi braking pretty late, but having to slow down quite a bit to make that corner. Let's have a look further up front now. We've got a battle for P4 right now. Tash has a small gap to Arnocha in P4, with JL sitting in P5. Let's have a look at what with JL. Tash Smash also, he may have gotten the penalty. Ooh, he probably has. He's now in this scrap again for 3rd place. Now Arnocha has been promoted up to 3rd place, with Tash Smash really close behind. Going a bit wide here and there to the flat out section. Unfortunately, the game slightly lagging the connection. Everyone. Server kind of struggling to keep up with the positioning of every driver here. Let's see if we can have a good look on board with JL right now. So he's going through the final corner onto the main straight. Unfortunately, I believe he's got a little bit of slipstream, so he can make up a little bit of time on this pit straight. Not too close though, so that slipstream isn't going to be too much, as he's missing the apex of turn 2. Tash once again going a bit wide up front. Watching the battle ahead, or JL sitting behind pretty right now, watching the battle unfold in front of him. Okay, let's have a look at, I'm going to quickly check Discord, nothing on Discord, okay. YouTube is showing my stream to be a bit laggy right now, I'm not sure, at least it's loading now. I hope the stream is still up, let me check that. Yes, stream should be still up. As JL's slightly losing touch with the guys ahead of him. Let's have a closer look at this battle for P3. Oh, that's unfortunate. The evil guest, that's a shame. That's so unfortunate, man. Your internet not working with you. Of course, there are 6 more rounds after this to, if you don't get a good result or miss the first race, there are 6 more rounds to make up a deficit. So there's plenty more room of salvation or to make mistakes if you are the likes of Creeper Brazil and Poltermaker, who is now Creeper Brazil just made a mistake. He must have got a pretty large penalty, as he's now 2 seconds back on Poltermaker, as Poltermaker now inherits the lead from Creeper Brazil. Well, ooh, still the battle going on with 3 guys. JL called up again to Tash and Arnoche. Swapping places left and right here. I'm not going to bother to keep up with the place switchments. Oh, they're very close together. Pretty much going 3 wide briefly through that corner. Oh, time zones, yeah. That's also, I think, something that tends to happen sometimes, that the driver misunderstood when the race would be. Yeah, that sucks. I would recommend to double check or triple check even the time of the race. Google up what, for example, 16 BST is in your time zone. You should be able to quite easily Google that. The races will always be at 16 BST. Those are the normal race time for this league. And we're going to be racing. What's the next race? For this division, we're going to have races, and also for Division 1, we're going to have weekly races. So next week we'll be back at, let me check, at Lukov for the second round of this championship. And tomorrow we're going to watch the Division 1 guys race around this track as well. Also a 23 lap race. Both divisions are using the exact same format. And now we are just over halfway through in this race, as we've got Creeper going back into the lead for a brief moment, but compromising his exit as Poltermaker gets a good run out of the corner. And the 2 guys now fighting out for 3rd place. Poltermaker getting a much better line through there and retaking the lead. And so we've also got still a battle going for P3. That battle has pretty much been going on for most of this race so far. JL going wide. That could be a penalty. Yeah, got a brief penalty, but he should be able to comfortably get back in the slipstream and chase down Tash and Arnoche for 3rd place. Let's have a look further down the order to see if there are more bounces going on. Skyring still in no man's land right now. We've got Lafchi in P7. Also in no man's land right now. It was previously having a battle with Messi CR, but those seem to have separated from each other at the moment. Then we've got Chirpy Birds a little bit further back, and then rounding up the top 10 and last drive on track right now, Roblox Epic in 10th place. Let's look back at the fight for the lead. The top 2 guys still pretty close to each other, as the gap is now 7/10 between the 2 drivers. Creeper slightly closing in the gap as he's having that slipstream, using that slipstream to advantage, diving for the inside, but again compromising his exit. So Poltermaker for now is in 3rd place, as we've got, yet again, we've still got the battle for 3rd place going on between Tash Damash and Arnoche, with JL a little bit further behind, which this battle I'm pretty sure has been going on for the entire race. For at least 10 laps, I would say. Okay, Creeper, a little bit of a gap to Poltermaker, slightly extended his lead. Creeper still should be able to be in the slipstream, as he is closing the gap. I believe he just closed in 3 to 4 tenths again, just on the straight due to the slipstream. So I hope for him he can be back. Oh, went a bit wide. That's a penalty. Slowing down again. There goes his 4 tenths again. He lost a little more time than that, but I hope for him that he can make that time up again throughout this lap. Of course, this race being far from over, as we've still got 8 laps in this race. Some people don't tend to like this track. I see some people talking about this track being their least favorite, which is kind of sad for me because this is my first. This track is a remake of a track I made in 2014, which was my first, actually pretty proper track, I would say, which I built. So this track has some sentiment value to me personally, also because it's my home track. So a little bit unfortunate to see that people don't tend to like this track as much. But you know, people can have their own opinion, of course. I personally still like this track. It's maybe a bit long, a bit too much. Perhaps I can agree with those people. It's definitely not an easy track, having quite a few tricky corners, notably the snail section, which we're about to come up to right now, and the final section also not being particularly easy. Let's have a look at what with Creeper Brazil. Going a bit wide after the right-hander. I believe a few people have been asking for me to change that right-hander, but sorry, in my opinion, you just have to deal with what you have and make the best out of what could be in your eyes a bad situation. To try to adapt your driving so the corner isn't an issue to you anymore. Of course, you can taking corner could be really satisfying or not satisfying at all. But everyone is dealing with the same exact same corner with the exact same circumstances, so it's just whoever can adapt the best to those set circumstances. Let's see, we've still got the scrap going on. I believe Notash kind of has a gap. Never mind. Arno just seems to have dropped back a little bit as we've got 6 laps to go in this race. Ooh, JL got penalty for going wide there. Quite a few drivers getting called out at that on the exit of turn 2. CJL now in 5th place, trying to make up some ground again. Tash seems to be getting away right now from the battle of 3rd 3, so that battle seems to be mostly on hold for now. But don't count the guys behind Tash out yet. Anything can happen as we're now looking again at the battle for first place, not 3rd place, but for 1st place. Creeper in 2nd, was just a moment ago. He was very close between those two guys, under the 10th right now, as Poltermaker for now is maintaining his lead, as Creeper is probably looking to get a cheeky slipstream going onto the main straight. As we've got a back marker of Roblox Epic a little bit further ahead, about to get lapped. Poltermaker getting slipstream as well, so there goes Creeper's plan, if he had one, to get the slipstream, because now Poltermaker is also getting some slipstream. But right now that means he's also getting dirty through the corner, so that could also help Creeper. Having a back marker in front of you is obviously a double-edged sword. It could help you on the one hand, but on the other hand it could be annoying, especially through a lot of corners. So now Poltermaker has just about got past, taking a different line from Roblox Epic, as you can see here, taking the late apexes but getting good exits, as now both our top 2 guys have made their way past Roblox Epic. Let's see, Roblox Epic going wide and getting a penalty for that. Creeper Brazil going for an early apex, which don't think is the optimal line, but yeah, still barely hanging on to Poltermaker. He'll still be able to get some slipstream if he comes onto the main straight. I think we're going to watch this battle for the rest of the race. Maybe briefly going back to the fight for P4, as Tash Mash has pulled a little gap to JL in 4th place, but Arnocha still within a second of JL. Ooh, look at this slipstream from Creeper. Creeper closing up back right behind Poltermaker again, but now he has to deal with his dirty air. Oh, actually Creeper is probably ahead on his screen right now, but on this screen going even right now as they come through the chicane. Creeper using more space to his advantage, but yet Poltermaker seemingly getting a better run and taking the lead again. Poltermaker taking, as you can notice, he takes really late apexes and gets good exits because of that. So here you can, for the analysts out here who are watching this, this is a good time to analyze the two drivers, as they clearly seem to have two different driving styles. As Poltermaker is going for a late apex and Creeper for a very early apex, which is interesting to see the comparison between the two drivers. They seem to be pretty even overall. Obviously, if you take an early apex, you can brake a bit later and you carry a lot of speed into a corner, but it means you will compromise your exit because of it, as Creeper getting a really good run through the double left-hander. Coming onto the main straight, they're pretty much even right now, so I believe neither is going to have the slipstream right now, as they are both probably going to be ahead on their respective screens. As Creeper, no, I think Creeper is still getting a little bit of slipstream. As we're now to the final 3 laps of this race, as we're going to briefly watch the action for P3. We've got Arnold, who has just overtaken JL for 4th place. Seems like that Tash has pulled away now. So it looks like Tash has secured that 3rd place. Of course, still 3 laps to go, so anything could happen. But he's looking really good to take the final spots on the podium, as we are now looking at Arnocha and JL fighting for the wooden spoon, basically, just outside the podium. See, both pretty much taking the same line, carrying quite a bit of speed through the first corner of the Snell section, and then both pretty much getting the same exit. I believe neither getting the slipstream. JL's just ahead on his screen. Maybe not now, but he was on the back straight probably, because remember, on your screen you are always 2/10 ahead, or better put, on your screen everyone else is delayed by roughly 2 to 3/10. So if you are ahead by 1/10 on your screen, you are actually in reality behind 1/10. And what we're watching in the stream right now is, for me, we're watching from my perspective right now, everyone on my screen is delayed by 2/10. So now we are looking at basically the correct positions relative to each other. As now we're watching the battle for 1st place, as they are on the penultimate lap of this race. Poltermaker getting a better run, so he's now just ahead of Creeper. Going pretty much even. Now Creeper dropping back a bit. I think he may want to get some slipstream going onto the straight and slingshot past Portal. I would certainly think about doing that. Of course, I haven't driven too often, not having too much battles with people in this game. But But I think purposely dropping a few tens so you can get a lot of slipstream. If you have a lot, especially if you have got a long straight ahead, that may be worth it. So you still have got some extra momentum as you overtake your rival for first place. So now they're going pretty much even, coming into the final lap of this race. Going pretty much even, 1 tenth separating them as they cross the line. Only half a tenth between the two. And Portmaker getting back past Creeper Brazil for the lead of this race. There's now a little bit of lag going on. Portmaker freezing on my screen. I'm sure his position, yeah, there we go. His position is now corrected. Has been corrected. Sorry if my English sometimes tends to be a bit broken. I probably should speak a little bit slower in general. But we're all good. We're still watching a very nice battle for first place at the moment between Creeper Brazil, who's again a little bit behind from Portmaker. As now actually the time registers as being even within 1/1000th of a second between them. So there's pretty much nothing between them right now. So this is going to be a very close finish as they are going to come across the line. It's interesting. So Creeper is now in first, but according to the leaderboard, but he was slightly behind when the leaderboard updated, because the leaderboard updates every minnesector. We've also got a battle going on for P4 between Arnold and JL still, but we're going to focus on the two leaders of this race. Who is going to get first? Is Creeper going to steal first place with the slipstream? He's slowing down a little bit. He's getting into the slipstream. Oh! Porto got a penalty on the final corner. So Creeper Brazil is going to win the first ever league race. Is going to have the bragging rights with Porto coming home in second place. Now let's have a look at the battle for P3 as Tashmash is going to cruise home in third place. And now Arnold about getting the slipstream from his teammate on the back straight. Ooh, that's a nice way to secure your fourth place by getting the slipstream from your teammate. That works a treat. So now Arnold your fourth, JL fifth, and now we're watching Skyrings, who is about to cross the line. Skyrings coming home in sixth place. Now we're waiting for Lafji to finish to bring home seventh place. I believe actually Messi and Chirpy Bird not too far from each other for eighth place. But never mind, Chirpy made a mistake, so the gap is up again to 3 seconds. Let's have a look on board with Chirpy Bird. Maybe he still has a chance. He definitely still has a chance at 8th place. Then he has made up quite some ground to Messi. Messi going very wide. Not the way you want to take that double left-hander, but it seems to have gone away with it just. Let's see, can Chirpy get enough slipstream so it can steal that 8th place? It looks like maybe he can. Let's see as they are going to cross the line. No, it's just not enough, and Messi keeps his 8th place. So now the SR score not being correct right now. Because it's a VIP server, of course. It doesn't actually get everyone's results. I'm sorry, I just clicked the results away. I did make a screenshot of the results, fortunately, which I'm now posting on Discord. You know Roblox. Okay, I'm going to stop the stream right now. I hope everyone who's been watching the stream has enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you tomorrow for the first round of Division 1. Have a good day, everyone. Goodbye.